So I think we need a drink.
Ahora sí necesitamos pegarnos una copita de tinto.
But you can see how you can tell that story here in Argentina. You can tell it. You can tell it anywhere. And you can apply that thinking to any discipline, to cooking, to gardening, to physics, anything you like. So it's really more about giving people a structure to look at things.
Y se dan cuenta que esto lo podríamos presentar en cualquier país o en cualquier lugar. Esto se puede relacionar de cómo vemos las cosas en escala, sea que estemos hablando de cocina o de jardinería o de física. Es así como lo relacionamos.
So one of the things we do is the Powers of 10 workshops, where people, especially kids, but people of all ages, create their own Powers of 10 journey that they're able to keep with them and get more of a hands-on understanding. So they're not just being told it, they're kind of getting their hands on it.
Nosotros tenemos talleres, que son los talleres Powers of 10 o potencias de 10, sobre todo para niños, para personas más jóvenes, donde no solamente les decimos lo que es y cómo va cambiando la visión, sino que también hacemos que metan mano, o sea, que lo sientan, y entonces así se puede comunicar y se puede enseñar mejor.
So these are all drawings done in those workshops.
Y ese paseo lo ven aquí en estos dibujos que se han hecho en los talleres.
So I said I would leave a little time for, because obviously there are many more things I can tell you about Charles and Ray's work and their ideas, but I wanted to just kind of give you a chance if there was anything that was up there that you thought I should ask about or talk about.
Y yo les dije que iba a dejar tiempo al final para que pudiésemos intercambiar ideas y también podían ver ahí en el menú si había algo, no sé si ese clic querían que lo compartiésemos acá.
And since you're all so quiet, I will bribe the first person to make a suggestion.
Como están todos muy callados y calladas, voy a sobornar a la primera persona con un libro, este que está acá. Entonces la primera pregunta, quien la quiera hacer, se lleva un libro.
No pressure.
No te sientes presionado lo más mínimo, pero ya te llevas tu libro.
Me interesa la figura de la señora que está en la casa de ladrillo.
So this is actually.
Sí, yes.
So this is one. This is actually one of the first houses that Charles designed in St. Louis. It was his biggest commission before he moved to before he went to Cranbrook.
Esta es
No, St. Louis.
St. Louis. Esto es en St. Louis, la casa que tuvieron antes de mudarse.
So I'll play the clip. You should translate what she said.
Okay.
I said I would like to have a small, big house or a big little house. Charles
Es
is
una
very
casa,
playful,
una pequeña casa, una pequeña gran casa, una gran pequeña
and he
casa.
also asked me what my favorite symphony was, and I told him it was a Mozart G minor. So
Yo,
the
por
first
ejemplo, tenía
art
una
here
pieza de Mozart, una
is the
sinfonía,
first few bars of
y
the
dije,
G minor
quiero que esté
symphony.
representada en lo que yo siento que es lo
And
que
you
me
see the
hace
angel blowing the inspiration.
Y bueno,
Oh,
sirvió
notice the beautiful
como
silver
inspiración.
lining of the coat. That again is a
Quiero que vean
decorative
cómo entra la luz
stick.
porque eso es lo que me hace a mí recargarme.
The window
Esta
that
ventana
has some stained glass panels and Greek motifs
tiene estos
that were
motivos
designed by
griegos,
Charles
estos
and made
capiteles
by
que ven
Ada
acá.
Fry. Now these niches are beautiful. You can see how they're recessed.
Precioso este pequeño nicho que está dentro,
There was
que curva hacia adentro.
glass
Esto era vidrio.
shelf that had
Era en
lighting
realidad una
under it.
repisa de
I told
vidrio.
him that we wanted a house of contemporary design.
Y yo también quería algo de diseño contemporáneo.
Told him the number of bedrooms we wanted and the kind of house we wanted.
Los dormitorios, las alcobas que yo quería tener.
The more we talked about it, the more we added. Ground broken, January 3rd, 1937.
En el 37, el 3 de enero del 37. Fue cuando pusimos.
So that was a film I made about 20 years ago, just before that original owner passed away.
Esto yo lo hice justo antes de que falleciese la dueña, que era la señora que estaba ahí.
No, yo soy arquitecto, no estoy ofendido por nada. Y una pregunta así, que es más personal. Quisiera saber cómo era la relación con tus abuelos.
When we were at Christmas, we had to call them icons of modernism.
Te lo digo así, los teníamos que decir, ustedes son los íconos del modernismo, cuando era la cena de Navidad, así nos dirigíamos a ellos.
No me lo imaginé de otra manera.
Exactly, that's how it should be. No, they were amazing people. You have to remember that they are more famous now than they were when they were alive, and even when we were growing up. So we just knew that they were incredible. You know, not that anybody else did.
Eran seres maravillosos. Recordemos que ellos no eran tan famosos antes o cuando nosotros estábamos creciendo con ellos como lo son ahora, pero eran formidables, estupendos.
Y otra, porque por lo general son actividades demasiado absorbentes. Entonces el tiempo que uno podía pasar con la familia, eso es lo que me interesa.
Charles, we did spend time with them. I grew up in San Francisco. They worked in Los Angeles, so they would always try to make trips that would go through San Francisco, so we could see them.
A ver, yo crecí en San Francisco, ellos estaban en Los Ángeles, pero siempre trataban, cuando tenían algún viaje, de hacer que pasase por San Francisco, ¿no? Para que estuviésemos juntos.
But there were 5 kids in my family, so that's me in the upper right corner.
Somos 5 en la familia, arriba a la derecha, ese soy yo.
Charles Ray did not give me the haircut.
Y Charles Ray no fue el que me cortó el pelo, no pienso que es una cuestión de diseño.
But since there were 5 of us, every once in a while they would bring one of us by ourselves down to be at the office with them, which was fantastic.
Lo que sí era formidable es que nos llevaban cada vez a uno diferente y nos llevaban a la oficina de ellos, al taller.
And that camera, that Polaroid, my brother and I were talking about this the other day. See, that's why I don't like style. We were talking about this the other day. Polaroid gave them one of the first 5 SX70s to experiment.
Esto lo hablaba yo con mi hermano la semana pasada, por eso es que a mí esta cuestión, cuando digo diseño, parece me pone nervioso, ¿no? Pero esa cámara Polaroid que estaba ahí fue una de las primeras 5 que fabricaron y que se la dieron a ellos para que experimentaran.
So they came to San Francisco with it. They said, "You're going to love this, it's so cool." So they did. So then we brought the pictures into school, and our friends didn't believe us that it just could come out of the camera.
Y fue gracioso porque nos la llevaron a San Francisco, nosotros estábamos flipando a colores, dijimos qué linda la camarita, sacamos una foto, nos llevamos al colegio y nuestros compañeros decían, no, me estás jodiendo, esto nos salió instantáneamente de la cámara de fotos, no puede ser.
So they were quite big. We were very fortunate. We were very fortunate to have them as grandparents, and I think we learned about design backwards. We never knew we were being taught about design.
Y creo que lo bueno fue tenerlos como abuelos y que nos enseñaron a pensar el diseño al revés. Nos enseñaban diseño y nosotros no sabíamos que nos estaban enseñando diseño en el tiempo.
Someone over here has been patient.
¿Alguien haya tenido
Acá tenemos
paciencia?
una pregunta.
Quisiera saber si tenés imágenes del juego de naipes. Porque justamente quiero saber la escala. Los he visto en fotografías, en libros, y quisiera fabricarlos para mis nietos y no encuentro las escalas. Me gustaría verlos cómo jugaban.
So, I feel terrible. I don't have any such pictures. I actually have them elsewhere on the computer, so I will show them to you afterwards. But I can tell you a lot about the skill.
Se las muestro si quiere al final. Le pido disculpas porque no lo tenía a mano, pero las tengo en la máquina, o sea que después que se las muestro. Pero le puedo hablar mucho sobre las escalas de las cartas.
So the small, they came in 3 sizes. So the smallest one was basically like a regular deck of playing cards in size.
3 tamaños. La primera era como una baraja normal, el tamaño estándar que tiene más o menos, que tiene una carta, un mazo de cartas.
Then the medium size are not exactly this size, but sort of this scale.
La segunda, tamaño mediano, más o menos, es como esto. Esto es una 5, por si acaso.
And then the giant house of cards are not twice as much. Now we don't only have things that are the size of huge house of cards. It's a little bit smaller than this.
Es un poquito, la tercera sería un poquito más chiquita que esta, más o menos. Es decir, estos son 10 jugadas.
But what's really great is that we've started making playing house of cards. And in Michigan, a few weeks ago, we made a structure with 10,000 of the giant house of cards. It was fantastic.
Lo interesante es que empezamos a hacer casas, ¿no? Ahora hicimos una en Michigan con 10.000 cartas de las más grandes.
Okay. So that will give you a feeling for it.
Pero más o menos le da una idea de...
Any other things, anything I left out?
Algo que me haya dejado fuera.
God, I guess big one. Yes. Oh, okay, cool. I was gonna say, what a tough crowd, you know.
¿Perdón?
Charles and Ray wrote The King and I.
Charles y Ray escribió El Rey y Yo. Charles y Ray escribió El Rey y Yo, The King and I.
No, that's Dick Donges, who worked at the office.
No es él, se parece, pero es Dick Jones que trabaja con nosotros en la oficina.
So first I'll show elephants, and then I'll show you wheelbarrow.
Mencionaste elefantes, alguien mencionó elefantes, ahora les muestro elefantes.
So this, I don't know if you have this problem with elephants in Argentina.
Yo no sé si ustedes tienen este problema con los elefantes en Argentina.
Should we? I have another elephant movie, or we can. Is there anything else? Or
otra, la de Jules Brenner, entre comillas, o si no tengo otra de elefantes, no sé si quedó algo más afuera o hay alguna otra. O algo más que no sea ni el elefante ni Jules. Ahí.
Alright, so this is these are people that worked in the office, talking about sort of the process of working with Charles Ray.
Personas que han trabajado en la oficina, ¿no? Y hablaban sobre el proceso de lo que era trabajar en la oficina, del taller.
So I think we've done about 200 hours of oral histories in the office to really kind of capture how things work there. And maybe we may not watch the whole thing, but why don't you do this, the consecutive translation.
Y para que se den una idea, nosotros más o menos tenemos 200 horas de filmación de personas que han trabajado con nosotros, y era para darnos una idea de lo que decían. No lo vamos a ver entero, pero vamos a ver un pedacito.
Who would ever think of using this kind of a base, a DKR base, as flimsy as that is, or as some people call it, the Eiffel Tower base? Who would ever use it? As bare as it is, and as cold as it is, who would use it? Charlie would. Who would use reinforced fiberglass? Charlie would. Who would bend plywood? Charlie would. Nobody ever bent, and I know nobody ever bent plywood made it look pretty. He did. I think his honesty in the use of material, not hiding things, not professing that it's something other than this table is white plastic, right? This edging is vinyl. It's very obvious to the eye, and that's what he wanted. He wanted it to look like what it was.
He would come back and had a very good eye. Charles had a terrific eye. Little piece of furniture, and not until they looked at that piece of furniture through the camera could he make really any criticism. Once he started photographing, he knew exactly what he had a real camera eye.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we put it all together and it looked fairly decent. And he'd start photographing it. His hustle was 35. And as soon as he looked through that camera, he knew exactly go back and rework it.
I did want you guys to hear that quote, just this idea of using the camera not to record, but actually as part of the process of understanding the document.
Y quería subrayar esto, lo veía sin cable después con la cámara era lo que le ayudaba a ver cómo se veía, era parte del proceso de diseñar lo que estaba haciendo.
I wanted to show you this clip, which is of where their office was in Venice. And this is a film that I made right after Ray died. And to your question about how close were we? When she died very suddenly, and I realized that if one of us didn't pay attention, the things we cared about would go away. And also that this place was amazing, and we needed to document it because it couldn't be saved forever.
Esto lo filmé muy poquito tiempo después de que ella falleció, porque esto tiene que ver con la pregunta que me hacías, ¿cuál era la relación que teníamos? Y era una relación donde sabíamos que si nosotros no documentábamos esto, había cosas, detalles que se podían llegar a perder. Y lo filmé muy poco después de su muerte. Esto es en Venice, el primer taller, la primera oficina que tenía.
So as kids, it was just fantastic to go there because there's always something going on. There were models being built.
Era increíble cuando eras un nene entrar ahí porque había prototipos, modelos alucinantes.
And then you see these walls there. They were all held together with clamps, so you could move them, and suddenly everything would be gone. We come down one day and it would look totally different, and then they'd rearrange it again.
Estas paredes, que no son duros ni nada, eran simplemente paneles puestos con mordazas, ¿no? Y lo que podías hacer era quitarlas, entonces entrábamos un día no había paredes, otro día había muchos compartimentos.
And as I said, they always did three-dimensional prototypes. They hardly ever did drawings.
Hacían siempre lo que les decía, prototipo, modelo tridimensional, más allá del bosquejo, siempre había prototipo tridimensional.
And there's a beautiful letter from Charles where he said to Ray that he wanted to meet with her soon because she was in New York, they were not engaged, and he was in Michigan. And he said,
bueno, hay una carta muy tierna, ¿no? que le manda él a ella. Ella estaba en Nueva York, él estaba en Michigan, en ese momento no estaban comprometidos todavía.
And he said, we must see each other soon. This business of being dream people in each other's minds is no good.
Entonces le decía, nos tenemos que ver lo antes posible porque este sueño no puede continuar siendo sueño a remoto.
And I think it relates to how they collaborated on the furniture. Because by having a three-dimensional prototype, you're actually arguing about the chair. If I make a drawing, you may think it looks like one thing and you think it looks like another.
Porque tiene que ver con cuando haces algo, si lo dibujas, si haces un bosquejo pero no es tridimensional, lo que yo te muestro en ese bosquejo, para ti esa silla se va a ver de una forma, para mí de otra, y no es un sueño.
So this, we're getting back to where the workshop was.
Este era el taller.
When we were kids, we could get 40 marbles going at once. I don't know how you got it worked.
40 canicas cuando éramos chiquititos metíamos 40 al mismo tiempo.
So this was a toy idea, and they were actually going to put it in an installation in the Time Life building, but it was too complicated to be in the public, interact with the public. They didn't feel like they failed. They just said, oh, we learned and now it's going to be part of our office.
Dijeron, esto originalmente iba a ser una instalación en el edificio, en el Time Life, pero se dieron cuenta que para el público abierto general iba a ser bastante complicado. Entonces dijeron, bueno, pero no dijeron, fallamos. Dijeron, bueno, ya está, lo hicimos, está bien, que se quede en el taller. ¿Sí?
So, you guys have been very, very kind and very patient, and so I just want to show you two more things before we wrap up.
Han sido más que amables conmigo, les quiero mostrar dos últimas cositas antes de que ya cerremos.
So this year is 2012, and Ray would have been 100 years old. Her 100th birthday is this December 15th.
Este 15 de diciembre, Ray hubiese cumplido 100 años.
So I thought I'd just show you a little bit of some of Ray's early work and connect with some interviews that I do with people there. It's a short clip, and you should do the consecutive translation because there's some breaks.
Y quiero mostrarles este video que tiene que ver con su trabajo previo, inicial, y después cómo se conecta a donde llegaron, y algunas entrevistas con algunas personas.
And there's one picture where she's sitting on the chaise lounge holding a little baby.
Hay una imagen donde ella está sentada sosteniendo un bebé.
And that's my older son when he was 9 days old.
Y es mi hijo, que está ahí cuando tenía 9 días.
And she was gone 3 weeks later.
Y 3 semanas después ella se fue.
So it all happened very fast. So I'm going to show you this, and then we'll show the last elephant movie, and you can go out to the world.
Les muestro esto, después les muestro otra sobre elefantes, y de ahí ya los libero para que vayamos a disfrutar del mundo.
And she was always, on point. She's like a guest on a chaise, so bursting with
siempre estaba ahí muy virtuosa, con mucho entusiasmo, sentada en las sillas.
She had this extraordinary sense about putting objects together and
extraordinario de los objetos.
unusual colors, bright.
De la visualización del color.
And her paintings were very interesting. They were very broken up into little pieces.
Muy interesantes sus dibujos, decía, el manejo del color.
There was one time when she showed me some of her paintings or her sketches. I asked her if she missed doing that, and she said no, because what she was doing with Charles was like her painting, you know, creating things and using them.
She never missed. She was always, whatever she put together in the house or the studio, somehow was always right. And
de alguna forma u otra siempre encajaba bien en casa lo que ella
gift. I think the combination of that with Charles, they both had very strong gifts in different directions, and yet somehow in the same direction.
So what she's saying is that they both had similar gifts, but they had different gifts, but they were somehow in the same direction.
Y si bien tenían cada uno un regalo diferente que le había sido dado a cada uno de ellos, siempre iban en esa misma dirección. Mencionaban mucho su sonrisa.
And work was the key to the whole thing.
So just a little glimpse of Ray, and as you probably figured out, those were all her paintings that you want to see there.
Y bueno, lo habían visto, lo decían, todas esas pinturas eran pintadas por ella.
So I really felt that the elephants were kind of oppressed.
Yo he sentido siempre que los elefantes estaban un poquito oprimidos.
I mean, they're in LA. LA is no place for an elephant.
Y están en Los Ángeles. La verdad que la ciudad de Los Ángeles no es un lugar adecuado para elefantes.
So I thought they should go meet their people.
Así que yo dije, bueno, que salgan de paseo y vayan a conocer a su gente, a sus elefantitos.
So this is a three-part journey. It's an epic. So you've only seen the first part, but the ending of it will be in a couple of weeks on YouTube.
Esto es una novela y es una saga, una serie de 3. Ustedes están viendo solamente una parte del paseo de los elefantes.
Consúltanos por la película de mañana.
Para Trace y Ray Charles no se hubieran conocido, ¿podrían haber hecho todo lo que hicieron? ¿Cuánto tuvo que ver el amor en la pareja para que pudieran realizar todo este proceso creativo que llevaron y que revolucionó el mundo? Gracias.
Well, I'm the last person to read other people's minds using my grandparents.
A mí me queda complicado contestarte. No le puedo leer la mente a las personas, mucho menos a mis abuelos.
But one of the interesting things about reading their letters, particularly before they got married, is it was very interesting to me that how much the idea of a life in work and life in love were in the letters at the same time.
Pero lo que sí es interesante es que cuando lees su correspondencia epistolar, las cartas que se enviaban antes de ser pareja, antes de comprometerse y tal, veías que había vida, digamos, profesional, vida en el amor y amor en la vida.
And so their letters, when Charles he took a train trip to California before they were married when he was still in Cranbrook. And he writes back about, oh, when we come out here, we should do some films on honesty in materials and modern architecture.
Y es interesante, por ejemplo, él toma el tren para llegar a California. Cuando llega le escribe y le dice, ¿sabes qué? Sería ideal porque cuando vengas podemos hacer una película sobre la honestidad de los materiales y sobre la arquitectura que estamos viendo acá.
So there are not a lot of letters like that, I think, between people who are about to be engaged. And I think that what that shows is that it was always, two things it shows. It answers your question, but it also shows that they always had this very holistic vision of design. That it was never, we see the furniture first, but it was a bigger vision of design, not just about only those objects.
Y creo que ese tipo de conversación epistolar en carta no se ve en personas que están por comprometerse. Aquí hay una cuestión que creo que contesta lo que me preguntabas, que es ese enfoque tan holístico, ¿no? Que ellos lo veían de forma completa, no veían a lo mejor la pieza, sino que había algo mucho más atrás.
And the last thing I'll say, because in a way you were asking this also, is that I do think it would have been different. They might have both done amazing things, but I think they did different amazing things because they were together.
Y ya que lo tocaste en la pregunta, yo creo que por separado hubiesen logrado cosas muy grandes cada uno, sí, juntos.
And I think that people they hear that and they want to separate their contributions. Like they'll say, well, Charles is more technological and Ray is more aesthetic. And if you see that, if you knew them and then you really look at their work and their talks, they both had both.
Yo creo que hoy por hoy mucha gente a lo mejor que lo quiere separar, no quiere decir, bueno, no, Charles era un poquito más tecnológico, ella era un poco más estética, pero si te pones a ver, creo que ambos tenían ambas cosas.
Si quiere contar de la película de mañana, que se va a estar proyectando acá.
Oh, yes, there's a documentary that was made for American Public Television called Eames, the Architect and the Painter, and it's screening tomorrow, and I will be answering questions after it.
Preguntan si va a estar
I don't know. I didn't bring
No sé, la película se va a presentar mañana, se hizo para American Public Television, y es Eames, el arquitecto y pintor. Yo voy a contestar después, va a haber un pequeño coloquio al final.
It's going to be here, I think.
Va a ser acá, ¿no?
This theater, right?
Acá.
Do you know if it has subtitles?
¿Tiene subtítulos?
I'm embarrassed I didn't ask.
NPI, no poseemos información.
I assumed that it would, but that was a mistake.
Asumo que sí, pero sí, tiene, sí.
Yeah. So, and I should say that there's a part of this design festival which is organized in conjunction with the Architecture and Design Festival in New York, and that is officially who's bringing the four films all together that are being screened as part of the design festival. So
hay cuatro piezas que están presentadas por el Festival de Arquitectura de Nueva York, ¿no? Que es el festival hermano, entonces es una de las.
Exactly. There's another one which is called Unfinished Spaces, which is about the Cuban schools of art, which is a fantastic film.
Unfinished Spaces está buenísima, sobre el paso Juan.
So yes, thank you.
Así que gracias por la cuña y el bocadillo.
En los diarios que están circulando está el horario